You are listening to Blue Please right here on CynicalBrit.com with myself, Total Biscuit. Yes, you are. So, there are tears. Yes, I like these tears. These tears are wonderful. These are the tears of a wrath baby. Oh, yeah. And indeed, the tears that sadly are being somewhat listened to. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Not too much, admittedly, but enough. Just enough to make me upset. Totes McGoats, folks. Because you know what? Always those with the terrible names that have these kind of complaints. Valor/justice points. Wait a second, what? So I found the vendors finally, he said. And notice the justice point gear is all blue! And Valor gear is the purple gear. I looked it up on Wowhead. It says you can only get 75 Valor points per day doing daily heroic dungeons. And other dungeons just give justice points. The only other way to get Valor points is by doing raiding. This is a clear nerf to people who just want to grind 5-mans. Before I get flamed out and trolled by ignorant comments of people who have lots of free time. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, break out that fallacy. Yeah. Ah, it's the old standard. You can hear it being desheathed. It is the dagger made entirely of butter. Casual butter. It comes out from the sheath. And that is the fallacy that is always wielded by the entitled, casual, whining morons. I'm going to get flamed by those of you who have lots of free time, but you see, I can only play for 6 seconds a day! I can only play for 6 seconds! And I must be given epics, because I pay $15 a month for that 6 seconds! Yeah! 6 entire seconds! I demand the epics for the 6 seconds of play. In fact, why are you forcing me to level? I demand my level 85 and my epics for my 6 seconds a day! This is why the 5-man system gaining points is good for casual players. Some of us don't like to raid, can't commit to a raid schedule, and also don't like the process that some of the elitist guilds put in place to put entry to a guild. Ooh, the elitist guild, yes. I have a job, and I don't understand the concept that we might want a little bit of quality control in the people that we actually associate with. Why do I think this guy actually doesn't have a job, in fact? Because, you know, normal adults can actually understand the process of being selective as to who you play with. And indeed the idea of applications, for instance, towards raiding guilds. And not all of them do, but a lot of them do. The casual raiding guilds tend to have very, very simple ways of doing things. It's not too difficult. Very easy, say, to get into Trollface. You know? Trollface is a raiding guild. Trollface is an everything guild. Trollface does whatever it pleases. I believe we've got the Classy Trolls achievement now, so I'm pretty happy with that. That's the only achievement we actually need. We've also got that stupid guild banner thing, so yeah. But whatever the case is. In guilds, it depends on the guild that you go into as to what kind of application they have, or indeed what kind of process they go through when playing the game. What is their mission statement? What are they aiming to do, and what kind of people are in that guild? But of course, guilds are elitist. They're elitist because they don't just want to play with everybody, even though the average casual player is a loner and doesn't actually want to associate. That's the irony of it, folks. Your average entitled casual is generally a soloer, and then complains that other guilds are elitist, when in fact he is the elitist one. I don't want to play with other people. I don't want to associate with this riffraff, trot what hell, yes. Please. The 5-man system gaining points is good for casual players. Okay. So would you like to explain to me how a 45-minute long dungeon is better for a casual player than, I don't know, let's say, yes, the Omnitron defense system, which takes 5 minutes to get to, and then another 5 to kill? Would you like to tell me how that's better for a casual player? Because it's not. There's plenty of low-hanging fruit that you can pick in the raids that doesn't actually take too long to get to. Bastion of Twilight is fairly similar. getting to the Conclave of the Winds doesn't take that long either. So you do have options there. You've also got that silly boss in the Baronin Hold. But of course, doing a dungeon that takes 45 minutes, many of which are the case. Grim Batol, prime example, that takes a long time. Halls of Origination, very long instance. Throne of Ties, not so long, but Blackrock Caverns, pretty long. Shadowfang Keep, pretty long. Dead Mines, pretty long. In fact, there aren't all that many dungeons you can do in 15 minutes anymore. There's no equivalent of Anu Barak and his whatever the hell the place was that I can't really remember. Ajil Narub, yes. Ajil Narub in 8 minutes, folks. Very doable. There's no Violet Hold anymore. These are real dungeons for real men. And indeed, it takes longer to beat these dungeons than it does to do quite a few raid bosses. But of course, it's casual friendly, obviously. Casuals can only play 5-mans. So says this guy, who's an idiot. But it looks like now we can only get blue gear. Can someone confirm this? This is hilarious. I love this. This is wonderful. This makes me so happy. You wanna know why it makes me so happy? Because it confirms what I believe about these people, that they're actually fucking retarded. It's as simple as this. Can someone confirm this? That we can only get blue gear? Because if this is true, I don't see any point in playing anymore. They've taken away our gear progression entirely. Oh no, our gear progression. Gear progression. I'm familiar with the concept of gear progression. I'll tell you a thing about gear progression. Gear progression tends to involve increased difficulty. It involves increased difficulty because of the risk-reward paradigm. Risk-reward. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. The harder the content, the better stuff you get. However, it seems that this guy doesn't really seem to understand this. They don't understand that progression involves an increase in difficulty. You can't just do the same content over and over again and get better loot. Except you can, because that was the Wrath model. I'm just going to do the same 5-mans over and over and over again, and over the course of 2 years I'm going to get progressively better gear from it, despite the fact that they're easier and easier and easier because of the level of gear that I've got. Yeah. As your pathetic logic betrays you! Oh, you can only get blues. Too bad. So sad. You know what you need to do to get epics? You have to work for them, you spineless maggot! That's what you are, a spineless maggot! And sadly, Blizzard have this stupid idea, still, that it's okay to have people do the same content over and over again and for the rewards to get gradually better. Yeah. For a while, it's gonna be cool because we're back to the start of Wrath, where the badge system only rewards you with basic gear. At least it doesn't give you epics this time around. At least it doesn't give you epics this time around, folks. That would be bad. That would be pretty terrible. It's good that they're not doing that, but unfortunately, it's a temporary situation. It is. And it's a shame. Incredible shame. What I would have liked to see from Blizzard in Cataclysm is a very, very simple idea. Risk-reward, folks. Risk-reward. Risk-reward is the structure and indeed the philosophy that most games are built on. And the games that aren't built on that, well, they're generally not very good. You can only get the best loot from doing the harder encounters. But you might say, well, Blizzard is keeping to that, because you can only get the best loot from doing the harder encounters, but here's the thing, that's not all it's about. If I keep grinding 5-mans, why is it that by doing the same difficulty level content, difficulty level that never actually changes, it always stays the same? It's not like they're buffing the 5-mans every encounter. and indeed every patch. If they were, maybe I could understand it, but they're not, are they? Indeed, mostly they just nerf them over and over again. And yet, if I keep doing the same difficulty content, I will eventually get better gear. Why? Exactly. What is the logic behind that? What is the rationale, the rhyme, and the reason for that? And could you tell me, if you don't like raids, why exactly do you want epic gear? What are you going to use it for? Oh, that's right, nothing, because you don't raid. So you don't have a use for that better gear. You are being given gear that is optimal for the content you are doing. You are being rewarded with the level of gear that is appropriate for the content you are doing. And since you don't like raiding, because of course raiding is elitist, and you only have 6 seconds a day to play, because of course you're very, very busy and very important. Busy and important, wow. If only this guy knew my workload. And do you see me crying about raiding? For God's sake, I'm not even level 81 yet. I don't have the time. Do you think I cry about that? No. I'm not in raiding yet. Do you think I cry about that? Do you think I'm going to cry that it's probably going to take me at least a month, if not longer, to get to the level where I'm able to raid? No. You want to know why? Because I'm not 12 years old. Or indeed have the mentality of a child that is so demanding and so entitled. I want my presents now! Mommy, I want candy now, now, now! It does remind me of this kid that I saw in Asda today. I was popping over there to grab this delicious Sicilian lemon water, in fact, which is my usual casting drink. And you know what? When it comes to the children, they have a perfect excuse. You know, they're immature. They're not up to the level an adult should be. They can't really handle it when they demand something and someone says no to them. And yet, these people that actually complain about this are often adults, and people turn around and say no to them. And they cry and scream more than most average children do. At least children stop crying after a while. My God, seriously. You know, after about 5 or 10 minutes, the child will get over it. It takes about 5 or 10 frickin' months for the other guy to get over it. You hear the same crap on the forum over and over again. Why can't I have the candy? Why can't I have the candy? Why can't I have the candy? Over and over and over and over again, incessantly. It never ends ad nauseum. Bashiok responds, and unfortunately his answer is not as barbed as I would have liked it to be. It's good though. This is coming from a sense, he says, of blue lesser than purple, and it's something you should get used to. Epics are intentionally more epic again. They're not thrown at you as soon as you walk in the door like in Wrath, and because of that you're going to need to equip what you can to progress. But yeah, I don't think under any circumstances should badges awarded from 5-man content ever give epic items at any point. Hell, I would go as far as to say, if this is not already done, any item that is bought with lower tier badges should always be blue. I don't even care if it's statted like an epic, it should be blue. You want to know why? Because it makes this guy cry. And it forever marks out people that are incapable of doing the content that they want the rewards from. You know, make epic raid only, or high-end PvP only. Or, you've got to work your ass off to craft this only. But never give it to do 5-mans. Why? Why should you ever do that? Team Fortress had the right idea, folks. They put a nice prefix on any item that was acquired before you were able to buy items. I can't remember the exact name of it. So like a classic or a old school or whatever. I can't remember what it was. But whatever the case, it forever marked out people that had earned it in the legitimate manner as special. It's like, this guy worked for his. And you didn't. And that's cool. That's what I'd ask Blizzard to do. If you're going to make one compromise, if you insist on following through this folly when it comes to item progression via the 2-tier badge system, at least downgrade every single item that comes in that used to be purple to blue. You can leave the stats be. You can even leave the names be. You can leave the models be. But make it blue. Forever mark out those who won't as inferior, because that's what they are. And you know what? The guys who just want to do 5-man content and don't complain about not getting gear above their station are going to be fine with it. And the guys that don't Well, we'll hear their tears soon enough. Think about that one, Blizzard. My name is Total Biscuit. You're listening to Blue Please right here on CynicalBrit.com. When I go back after the break, I think we're going to be doing the Illusion of Choice. Sounds pretty reasonable to me. I'm going to leave the questing thing till next show, because I haven't really done enough of it to talk about it. In the meantime, I want to play some brand new Motorhead. Yes, indeed. Oh, yeah. There is brand new Motorhead. Motorhead will never die. The World Is Yours is the name of the album, and the name of the track is Devils in My Hand. Enjoy.